All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, so first and foremost, we want to start by giving all praises to
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Bashem,
Bashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the true leaders of the nation of Israel. Peace and salutations to all the sincere Akim, enduring afflictions, making their calling and election sure. Shalom.
Shalom.
It's your brother Kabar.
It's the brother Yitzhazakah.
And we back with another one. Lord willing, it's edifying to the elect. Yahweh Bashem Hashai, Bahar Kakadash, Barakatam. To all the sincere listeners who may hear this. This one's going to be called Shalach Riyam to the old man.
Pick it up in that Proverbs.
Kanat.
It's Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 11. It says, "An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him."
Right. An evil man, seeketh only rebellion, And really, if you haven't repented, if you're straying away from the law, statutes, and commandments, all right? If you're going to, outside the ways of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, all right? Then you're deemed as an evil man, It says, therefore, a cruel messenger shall be sent against him, Because we get in the Hebrew, Shalach Riyam, that means send evils, So that's really the basis of this lesson, sending evils to that old man, Just a person who's not repenting, a person before they repent, they're their old man. They need to repent, If you have something to add.
I'm gonna look. I got a quick precept. Proverbs 28 and 5. I'm gonna look over those words.
Proverbs 28 and verse 5.
Okay.
It says, "They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them."
I wanted 5, but that's the spirit that you read because I was thinking of that. You read it one more time.
Spirit. It says Proverbs 28 and 4. "They that forsake the law praise the wicked."
Ooh, so if you forsaken the law, like you were saying, if you have not truly repented and turned away from evil deeds, when you was living lawless, living within lawlessness, okay, you're actually praising the wicked, which stubbornness is his idolatry, and rebellion is his witchcraft, The evil man will only seek of rebellion,
Yep. But such as keep the law contend with them.
Yeah, but such as keep the law contend with them. So those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai, they're striving against the old man. They're fighting against that old man. They've put on that new man, and that fight is with the new man and the old man, They're contending, contending for the faith, saying?
Verse 5, "Evil men understand not judgment."
Yeah, evil men don't understand judgment, which, Lord willing, we can go into that word judgment.
"But they that seek the Lord, Yahweh, understand all things."
Yeah, they that seek the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they understand all things. But evil men, they understand not judgment. So if you're an evil man, you're not going to understand how you should be operating as a new man. You're not going to understand how to put away the old man. You're not going to know how to be that new man. You're not gonna know how to put to death that old man. Which when you go into that word judgment,
Mashapat,
which is it could be judgment, justice, or ordinance. Act of deciding a case, place, court, seat of judgment, process, procedure, litigation, case calls, sentence, decision of judgment, execution of judgment, time of judgment, justice, right, rectitude, ordinance, decision in law, right, privilege, due, proper, fitting, measure, fitness, custom, manner, or plan. So you don't understand timing. You don't understand how to execute judgment. You don't understand causes. You don't understand processes or procedures. As a judge, you don't understand proper decision making. You know, you don't understand privilege. You don't understand what's fitting or the plan if you're an evil man, you know. And if you don't understand these things, then you're not truly seeking the Lord. You're actually still that old man, you know. You're still being rebellious. You're still within your trespasses and sins, because as a new man, you're supposed to understand all these things, you know, because it tell you we have an unction from the Holy One to know all things, you know. So you're actually not within, you're not under that Holy One's, you're not under the supervision of that Holy One if you're not understanding all things, you know, which is how to operate within the spirit of a new man, because it says any man who is born in Yahushua is a new creature, you know what I'm saying, a new creation, you know. So you don't truly understand all things, you know.
Mm-hmm. It says, evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things.
Yeah, but so if you're truly seeking the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, you're gonna understand how to operate as a new man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna understand how to put down that old man. You know, and that's why we have to be cognizant of these things, because we say that we're seeking the Lord, but are we truly seeking the Lord if we don't understand how to put away that old man? You know, are we truly seeking Him? You know,
right?
We could be evil men. You know what I'm saying? Which the old man is an evil man.
Right.
You know.
That's right. Yep, that was a really good point.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's Shalach Riyam to the old man, you know, because the old man is evil. The old man is wicked. The old man needs to repent before it's too late. You know? If not, the old man is going to be a dead man. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Yeah.
Yes,
I looked up judgment on Google.
Okay.
And it says the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions, you know, and having common sense, perception, wisdom, wit, you know, sharpness, cleverness, reason and logic, know-how, you know. So having common sense, knowing how to make sensible decisions, you know what I'm saying, having discernment, that comes with being a new man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have these type of qualities and abilities, well, that means that you still have more repenting to do, you know?
Mm-hmm. God.
You still haven't fully put away that old man, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was it.
God, I'm gonna go to the next one.
God.
This is Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49. It says, He cast upon them the fierceness of His anger, wrath and indignation and trouble, by sending evil angels among them.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Yeah, so like we brought out in Proverbs 17, you know, evil man seeketh only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger should be sent unto him. And that cruel messenger is synonymous with that evil angel, you know, because an angel means messenger, you know what I'm saying? And cruel could be, you know, damn near synonymous with evil, you know what I'm saying? Or they could be likened unto each other, you know what I'm saying? So that evil angel it comes upon those whom are not truly seeking Yahweh Shemashah, those who have not become new creatures within Yahweh Shemashah, those who are not those who are keeping the law, statutes, commandments, you know, to the best of their ability, those who are not forsaking the law, you know what I'm saying? Those who are not forsaking Yahweh Shemashah, those who are seeking Yahweh Shemashah, they have no reason to be chastised. You know what I'm saying? Or of course they get chastised, because when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. But they have no reason to ultimately have a deciding case in judgment. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Because they're doing what they need to be doing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not doing what you need to be doing, then Yahweh Shemashah, He gonna send evil angels on you to either keep you engulfed in that for destruction, or, you know what I'm saying, because you're being stubborn. You're refusing to turn from that old man. So ultimately, Yahweh Shemashah send an evil spirit at you, since you want to stay evil and let you pine away in that evil. You know what I'm saying? Or you could not, you could turn away from there, and Yahweh Shemashah could send more supplication unto you, so you can continue to grow into that perfect stature of what he's looking for, within the fullness of a Mashiach,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come on, brother. Yeah.
No, okay.
I was thinking of one. I think it's in Deuteronomy 13. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the one you were bringing out lately. God, I like that one too.
Yeah, man. Since we're on it, because I know. Yeah, we're gonna switch gears a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I do got one after this too. Start at 6.
Come on.
This Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
This is a heavy account. This is the law. It says, thine hand shall be first upon him. First upon who? This is talking about your close brethren, man. Your brother, the son of your mother, the son, the daughter,
The wife of your bosom.
The wife of your bosom, Scriptures, say, love thy neighbor as thyself. This right here, you shall surely, all right, put them to death. It says, neither shall your eye spare or pity. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to particular wicked, all right, deeds, all right, like this right here is talking about idolatry, which you brought out, being rebellious. That's idolatry. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're supposed to be putting that to death, man.
Yeah, that stubborn nature. That's heavy, and really kind, and that's and it said which is as thy own soul in verse 6, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So really, you might have to put yourself to death. You know what I'm saying? You might have to put yourself to death.
Right.
If you're operating in a certain type of manner, well, within the law, a part of the law is to put that to death. You know what I'm saying? Put that old part of you to death.
Right. Yep. And that's what we're gonna go into.
I got a quick one. You got something else on that?
You got it.
Matthew 5 and 29 and 30.
It's St. Matthew 5. You said 29. It says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
Yeah, so Yahweh Shemashah requires us, to kill certain things about ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? So we could escape that ultimate deciding case of judgment. You know what I'm saying? Which we understand what happens when you ultimately give yourself over to rebellion and give yourself over to stubbornness. Then Yahweh Shemashah, he sends those cruel, evil angels at you. So in order for us to escape that, there's certain things about ourselves that we have to sacrifice. Certain things we have to, we have to fight against ourselves. We have to destroy our old selves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Giving out to the ungodly.
Yep. What you got?
Colossians 3.
Yeah, This started at 5.
Not.
This Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5. It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, Salakia, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
See that?
That's
what it boiled down to, right? Yeah. You know, this is mortify. Get that word in the Greek.
It's the spirit. I was going. It's kind.
Goes into to make dead, to put to death, slay.
Wow.
That's really it. Right.
You knew that already?
Yeah. Because you go to mort, like mort, that's like, something that has to do with death.
Okay.
Like mortal. You
right.
know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Right.
Mortgage. They're saying that's like a lifetime thing or whatever.
Kind.
So yeah, mortify, man. You're putting to death your members, man, which are upon the earth, and that's what these are the things right here. It really kind of land backs to Matthew 15, where he was like, certain things are unclean. You got it.
No, Shalach, your brother, to cut you out. In the definition on Blue Letter, it says of an impotent old man. You know what I'm saying? It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that one.
That's crazy.
Because this is basically what it is. You putting away, you're mortifying. You know what I'm saying? Or it's something that's worn out. You know what I'm saying? This is what you need to put away, man. It's already old. It's already worn out.
Right.
So you got to really, you know what I'm saying?
Just do away with it.
Just do away with it, man.
You can't renew it. You can't salvage it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's unsalvageable.
Like when scriptures say, let him be accursed.
Woo!
You know? Because he's already accursed,
Yeah.
you know? Like brothers say Shalach Riyam to particular things that's basically already, like this place, America, this place is cursed, man. You know, God bless America. Well, scriptures say otherwise, you know what I'm saying? This place is condemned from its birth, you know? Natural brute beast, made to be taken
and destroyed.
Yeah.
And it made me think of too, what you just said, made me think of Titus 3, when it says, a man, if he don't hear you after first and second admonition, reject, knowing that he is condemned of himself, just roughly paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing if you want to commit yourself into them old ways continually, you're set up to be destroyed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. John 3, when we brought out after camp, during camp, if he don't believe, then he's condemned already.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
So it's like, you got to put away those traits, man. This here is going into fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil conspicuous, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So these are the things, that we need to cut off, like we brought out in Matthew the 5th chapter. Matthew, I think I had it in there. Matthew 18 goes into that too. But Khan, I guess we could you could jump to verse 2.
Khan, I had a quick one, if I may.
You got it.
Oh, so you gonna say something else? So
what you got?
Matthew 9 and 16 and 17. Sure. I mean, Matthew 16 and 17.
Matthew 9.
Yeah, Matthew 9, 16, 17. Yep.
It says, Yahushua, he says, no man putteth a piece of new cloth into an old garment. It says, for that which is put, and to fill it up, taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse.
Yeah, so you can't, no man can serve two masters. You know what I'm saying? And we, like you said, give not to the ungodly. You can't mix the godly spirit with the ungodly spirit. You can't mix the table of devils with the table of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua,
Right. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved.
Yeah, so that's how you're preserved. You know what I'm saying? It's by ultimately becoming the new man. You know what I'm saying? And putting new deeds, which represent that wine, into that new man. You know what I'm saying? That's what what brings forth preservation. You know what I'm saying? You don't supposed to preserve the old wine into a new bottle, because it's gonna tank the whole new bottle. You know what I'm saying? So us being new men, we have to also put away the old deeds so they don't taint that new man.
That's it. That was it on that?
Yeah, that was it. Just that quick point. Say go back to Colossians 3 and 2.
Yep.
Yep. This Colossians chapter 3 and verse 2. Back in Colossians chapter 3 verse 2, it says, set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
Right. So this is how you mortify our members. It says to set our affections on things above, not on things of the earth, you know, things on the earth. And that's, I mean, Colossians 3 and 5, you know, it lists them. You know, those things that we're not supposed to be setting our affections on, man. Fornication, all right, uncleanness, inordinate affection, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, covetousness, you know, these are all things, you know, really starting from, I was actually going to do a lesson going into inordinate affection, evil concupiscence. Is really, you know, goes into the same thing, you know, wanting something that's forbidden, you know, and, you know, what comes to mind is, you know, in the garden, you know, with the fruit, the philosophies, something that was forbidden. You know, you can't be desiring things that's forbidden, man. Anything that the Most High commands us not to do, you shouldn't be wanting that. You know, I mean, you know, that's something that we need to really, we need to send evils right to that mindset, man, to that old man.
Yep.
But it said, set your affections on things above, not on things on the earth. I was going to read verse 1.
Okay. This jumping up to verse 1. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, Yahushua, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh.
Right. So really setting affections on things above, you know, and this is dealing with Hamashiach, Yahushua, you know. If you go back a chapter, unless you have something, I was going to... Brothers, actually, I got this from the group text from a while ago. Karaf and McQuarrie was going into this. You know, because this is how we set our affections on things above. Colossians 2 and 12.
Yep.
Let me read it for you.
Yep.
Colossians 2 and 12, it says, buried with him in baptism, wherein also ye are risen with him through the faith of the operation of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who have raised him from the dead. It says, in you, being dead in your sins, in the uncircumcision of your flesh, hath he quickened together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses.
Yeah, so that's how you are risen with the Mashiach Yahushua, and that's how you set your affection on things above. Is by crucifying the flesh ultimately. You know what I'm saying? By putting to death the flesh. You know, which the flesh was caused you to be dead in your sins. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be brought to life from the death from your flesh, which is you being dead in your sins, is to ultimately put to death that flesh. You know what I'm saying? Quit the works of that flesh. You know what I'm saying? Start desiring things that are profitable, you know, rather than things that are forbidden. You know what I'm saying? Start desiring the things that Yahweh Bashem Yahshua requires of us, things that accompany salvation, things that bring forth righteousness, rather than thinking about things that brings forth vanity. You know what I'm saying? Or bring forth wrath, you know?
Yep.
And bring forth death, you know? That's ultimately how you are risen with the Mashiach Yahushua, you know? Because it tell you, he that is born of Yahushua Mashiach cannot sin. I don't know if I can, born of, let me see if I can find that one real quick. Shalach, yeah. Bear with me, Shalach. I'm trying to find it real quick. Okay, yep, it's 1 John 3 and 9.
Okay.
I
was thinking that I didn't want to say it.
I didn't think that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of.
I was like, it can't be that.
It can't be that.
But it
can't
is.
be that easy.
God, yep.
1 John 3 and verse 9
God.
says, whosoever is born of the Most High doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High.
So there you go. Why? Because you've been buried with Yahushua in baptism. You've been submerged with the Spirit, resubmerged with the Spirit of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, which our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, he had no guile upon you. He did not do no sin. You know, so if we are really, truly in conjunction with that Spirit, buried with him within baptism, all right, then we're not going to be able to sin, you know. So ultimately, if we're still, you know, transgressing, which ultimately you'll fall short, but you're not going to be desiring to fall short. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? He that is born of Yahweh Shema Shah, he's not just gonna go willingly do something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna come into a situation where that happens. You know what I'm saying? But if you're truly born of Yahweh Shem Shai, you're not gonna be committing sin out here. You know what I'm saying? If you're truly born of Yahweh Shem Shai, why? Because you have crucified the flesh. You put to death the flesh. You've mortified your members. You know, and you're setting your affections on things above. You're risen with the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We're jumping back in Colossians 2.
Yeah. Yep.
Colossians 2 and jumping down to 20.
Mm-hmm.
It says, wherefore, if ye be dead with Hamashiach from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances?
Yeah. Why as through living through the world are ye subject unto ordinances? Okay. If ye be dead with the Mashiach from the rudiments of the world, then why are you still conducting yourself within the ordinances of this world? You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be conducting ourselves within the ordinances of the world of Yahushua Mashiach, you know, those cosmos, man. You know, because it tell you, what's that, St. John the 17th chapter, about how I was reading it yesterday. It says, I pray that you don't take them out of the world, but that you keep them from evil. Just roughly paraphrasing. So Yahushua, a part of us fully ceasing from sin. Well, might as well get this one. You get 1 Peter 4:1 real quick.
Yep.
It's a spirit because I had sent you there.
Yep. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1, it says, for as much then as Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that has suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin.
There you go, right there. So that's ultimately how you're perfected. You know what I'm saying? That's how you cease from sin. That's how you cease from death. That's how you ultimately come into life, is by suffering within the flesh. You know what I'm saying? So mortifying your members, subduing them, you know what I'm saying, with your members, is ultimately goes into your flesh, goes into your carnality. Putting that to death while you're still here within this present world is how you cease for sin, and that's how you cease from sin, and that's how you perfect it in Yahushua, because he had to do that. He had to completely mortify his members on the earth, and that's what caused him to cease from sin and rise with Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. You know, we have to do that same thing so we can rise with Yahushua and be perfected, you know.
Yep.
So he that is suffering in the flesh cease from sin, you know.
Right. That flesh has to suffer, man. It has the evil sin to it, man.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
That's a better point. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. You want to read that 20 again, or?
Nah, that's fine, unless you want to.
Yeah, you'll read it one more time. So like that.
I don't know. Back in Colossians 2 and 20. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Mashiach from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances?
Yeah. Oh, what's that other script that we should not live the rest? Hold on. That we should not. It's like break it down out real quick. I'll try to look for it.
Right. Being dead with Mashiach, man. That's basically that's what we have to do, man, in order to truly, you know, put off the old man. All right, send evils to the old man and be renewed. You know, have our affection, all right, towards the heavens above. You know, where Yahushua is at, man. You know, we got to be dead, as verse 13 goes into, being dead in our sins. You know, that's how we're going to be put to life. It says he had quickened together with him. You know, so we got to be put life. We got to have life put in us. You know, by putting, all right, that flesh to death. You know, putting those sins to death. You know, being renewed. Like verse 12 says, be buried with him. It says in what? In baptism, you know. So that goes into being renewed. You know, we're putting to death, all right, the ways of this world, the ways of our flesh, you know. And we're going to be risen, all right. We're going to be risen to the heavens, man, on things above, man. The affections that we have, like we have our treasures, you know, set in the higher place, like, you know, Matthew the 6th chapter goes into, you know. We storing our treasures in heaven.
No.
You found it? Falling off, man.
No, that's not in there. But I remember the wording.
Okay. NIV.
God, yeah, it's a lot. Go to the
got?
next one. I'm gonna just let me try to find.
Okay, come on, brother. Jump to that one. We was just talking about this one in Isaiah 57:1.
Okay. I think that's
found
it. Yeah, I
What you
think that's
got?
it. Salakia. 2 Corinthians 5:15.
2 Corinthians 5.
Oh, Khan. Yeah, start at 14. Baba Kashab.
This is 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 14. It says, "For the love of Hamashiach constrained us."
The love of a Mashiach constraineth us. You know what I'm saying? Which let's get that word constrained, Baba Kashab, because I'm pretty sure that's similar to mortified or subduing.
It goes to hold together.
Oh, Khan. Okay, so constrained, hold together, to press together with the hand, to hold
fast.
completely.
Yeah, hold completely, hold fast.
So our love of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, you know, which you're supposed to have that love for Yahweh Shai Mashiach, you know, by doing whatever he commanded us to do. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, he's given us an escape route from death. You know what I'm saying? So the love of a Mashiach, that's what holds us together. That's what keeps us from falling prey back into that old man. You know, so we gotta always keep that in mind. Okay, do we truly love Yahweh Shai? You know what I'm saying? Because if we truly love Yahweh Shai, we're not gonna let nothing stop us from being held together within being risen with him, you know, and being buried with him in baptism. You know, We're not gonna let nothing taint that, you know.
Con. Yep. To constrain, says oppress. To be held with, afflicted with, suffering from.
Con. He that is suffering in the flesh is ceased from sin. You know.
Yep. Con. We have it again.
Con, Baba Kashab.
It says, "For the love of Hamashiach constrained us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead."
Con, yeah. If one died for all, then we all dead. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep. It's ultimately Yahweh Shai. He put his life on the line. He died for us. So ultimately, look, we gotta die for him. What are we supposed to put to death? We supposed to put that old man to death. You know what I'm saying?
Kinda. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 15. That's like the last one. I was gonna kind of read down on that one.
Okay, Con. That's the next one?
Nah, that's the last one.
Oh, okay, Con. But they kind of link up with that? Yeah, Con. Lord willing, we can remember that point.
Yeah, that's a little willing.
You read 15 as well?
It says, verse 15, "And that he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again."
And that he died for all, and they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. You know, so we should not live henceforth unto ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? If Yahweh Shai died for us, then ultimately we can't live our life how we want to live it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately we have to live our life within paying homage and honor to Yahweh Shai for offering us a escape route from our past life, which was going to bring us unto death. You know, so we can't live our lives unto ourselves no more. We have to live our lives unto Yahweh Shai Mashiach, you know.
Okay.
So you just read 17 too, Bible Kashab?
It says, verse 17, "Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new."
Yeah, so if any man truly be in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, he is a new creature. He's a new man. If we're truly in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, we have put off that old man. Old things are passed away. We're not doing old things no more. You know, all things have become new. You know, so that's what we gotta always, you know, examine ourselves. Like, you know, the brother Kabar always go into, man. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. You know what I'm saying? No, ye not your own selves, lest ye be reprobates, man. So we gotta and that's what we gotta always take into consideration. Are we truly in Yahweh Shai? You know what I'm saying? You know, have we really put to death that old man and those old deeds? You know, if we haven't, then we need to cut off what offends, because Yahweh Shai is coming back to cut off all those who do offend. You know?
Right. Yep. I was on that.
Yep. Isaiah 57.
57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57. 57
Isaiah chapter 57, verse 1. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come.
Calm. The scripture could be going, a few different ways, but ultimately, putting to death the old man, that's something that a righteous man is going to do. Righteous man is going to be putting particular parts of himself away. He's going to mortify his members, so that in essence, he's going to perish. So that way, like we brought out in Matthew the 5th chapter, you're cutting off, if you're a certain member offends you, you pluck it out, you cut it off, so that way you could escape the evil to come. That was really the point on that one.
Matthew 18.
We already kind of read, yeah. We get that in Philippians 1, unless you got something.
No, I'm good. No. This is Philippians chapter 1. What it was, 16? So look. It's Philippians chapter 1 and verse 16. It says, the one preach Hamashiach Yahushua of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds.
Right. Affliction to the bonds, man. That's, really talking about particular people who's not in the spirit, not really in that spirit Yahushua was in. You're not sincere when you're preaching Hamashiach, You're doing it, to add affliction to the bonds, man. And we brought out in Colossians, 1 Corinthians 5, that the love of Hamashiach, that constrains us. That's that bond, which, Lord, I was going to get that next in Colossians 3.
Oh, that's the spirit.
But that's basically, you're either on one side or the other, man. Either you're adding affliction to the bonds, all right, or you're, actually helping, all right? You're actually going to, you know what I'm saying? You're actually helping on the left hand or you're helping on the right hand, man.
Yeah. Oh, and I tell you that Yahweh Shemashah have no need at all for a sinful man. So the old man it has no help to the ministry of Yahweh Shemashah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's Sirach 15. Just to make a quick point on that. Shalach, I know you got one. Because that Colossians 3 was the perfect echo for that. Shalach.
You good, man.
Was it 15 and oh yeah, it's 15 and 12.
Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 15 and 12. Say not thou, he has caused me to err, for he hath no need of the sinful man.
Yeah, but my son don't have no need for a sinful man. He don't have no need for the old man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that you are of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. You are of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? As an old man, be like, oh, well, Yahweh Shai, he wanted me to be this old man so this and that can happen. You know what I'm saying? No, don't say he did it. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahweh Shai, he don't have no need for that. You know what I'm saying? There's no place for that in this game, like they be saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's a lot. Go to Colossians 3.
Okay.
This Colossians chapter 3, verse 14. It says, and above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness.
Right. To be in that body of Yahweh Shai, that makes you the elect. Verse 12, you put it on as the elect. The elect are going to be in the spirit right here, man. And it says above all these things, put on charity. You know why? Because the love of Hamashiach is what constraineth us. That's that bond, right? I like getting that word bond in the Greek. It goes into that which binds together, a bond. It says of ligaments by which the members of the human body are united together. So charity, all right, is what brings, all right, the body of Hamashiach together. That's what constrains, all right, the elect together, man. So that's why it's important, to make sure that we're in that right spirit, man. If you're preaching the Mashiach of contention, then you're not helping, man. You're actually you're sending afflictions, all right, to the wrong man. You know what I'm saying? You sending evils. You saying Shalach Riyam. You basically saying Shalach Riyam to your Yahushua, man. If you're not in that right spirit, man, you're adding affliction to the bonds, man. And that's a high level offense, man.
Yes,
Now I was just trying to look that word constrain up on Google just to see if it was synonymous with mortify. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But mortify means to put to death or subdue in the Strong's definition. And when you look up constrain, some of the words that are synonymous with it means to imprison or incarcerate or pressurize or withhold. You know what I'm saying? So they can be similar or hold back or hold in. You know what I'm saying? So they could be they can be similar. You know what I'm saying? So the love of Yahushua Mashiach is what's supposed to cause us to mortify our deeds. You know what I'm saying? What's supposed to hold us back from, falling prey into the deeds of the old man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just just a quick side note. It's interesting.
Brother.
Curiosity.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we go into the words, man. That's how we get, understanding. You got some?
Nah, brother.
I could read this one for you. This is in Romans 6:6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
That's cold. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this... Shalach, you read 7, Bible Kasha?
It says, verse 7, for he that is dead is freed from sin.
So he that is dead is free from sin. You know what I'm saying? So if that old man is truly dead, you're freed from sin. You know what I'm saying? Our old man is crucified with them. So if our old man is truly been put to death with our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, then we should be free from that old man, you know? So this is, once again, that's why we got to always take this into consideration. Have we really been buried in baptism with them? You know what I'm saying? Have we really been crucified with our Lord Yahushua? Like, all things, evil man understand not judgment. You know what I'm saying? They don't take into consideration all things, because it said he that is born of Yahushua Mashiach is a new creature, and all things have become new. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's right, brother.
So we don't want to be that evil man. Which that old man is that evil man, which
right.
Death to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. That's right.
He's supposed to be dead anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ephesians 4.
Come.
Oh, it's the spirit Shalach. Yeah, I was pulling prees. You already had Shalach.
Yeah. No problem. No worries. I'll read it for you. Ephesians 4:22.
Can you start at 21 out, Bible Kasha? Shalach.
Ephesians 4:21. It says, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua. It says that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lusts.
Right, so if you truly learned about Yahushua Mashiach, you know what I'm saying? Because brothers be thinking like, oh, I read the Bible. I know these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You learned about Yahushua. Like, I know who Yahushua is. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you really learned him and been taught about him, then you should know that you're supposed to be putting off concerning the former conversation. You know what I'm saying? The old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust, which is corrupt, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you really learn and knew about Yahushua and know about Yahushua and how he wants you to be rocking, then you wouldn't be rocking with those deeds of the old man. You wouldn't be doing things concerning the conversation of the old man, you know? You'll read 23 and 24, Bible Kasha.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is created in righteousness and true holiness.
So that's how you ultimately have become that new man, is by being renewed in the spirit of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Let's get renewed. I want to get a quick precept. Bible Kasha.
Renewed.
It just say to renew it. Okay, to reform. To renovate. I'm gonna get there. You had pulled it up.
In the Greek, but I didn't have much.
Yeah, it just say it said renovate in the Strong's definition. I'm gonna look that up on Google real quick. Renovate means to restore something old, especially a building, to a good state of repair. modernize, restore, redecorate, make over, overhaul, rebuild, update, improve, upgrade, gentrify, re-equip, refurnish, bring something up to code. That's fucking fire. Rehab, you know what I'm saying? Reconstruct, you know what I'm saying? Rehabilitate, you know what I'm saying? So our minds has to be rehabilitated, you know what I'm saying? Because our minds is desperately wicked up above all things.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we ultimately were prisoners in our minds when we was dead in our trespasses and sins. You know, we was prisoners to sin. We was prisoners unto the flesh. You know what I'm saying? But now, as being servants of Yahweh Shem Shai, we're supposed to be prisoners to Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
So that's how you put on that new man, is by reconstructing your mind. You know what I'm saying? By rehabilitating your mind. You know what I'm saying? By bringing your mind up to code with the things that Yahweh Shem Shai would find acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because it tells you in what? Proverbs, I can't remember the chapter right now, but it say even the thought of foolishness is sin. You know what I'm saying? So you have to bring your mind even up to code. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you become that new man. You know?
Right.
That's why we read in 1 Peter 4th chapter, it said, as much as Hamashiach Yahweh Shai has suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That same mind is how, you know, you become that new man, you know, reforming your mind.
Right.
Which, you know, reforming it to how Yahweh Shai Hamashiach formulated his mind, which was mortifying old deeds, you know, mortifying sin, mortifying his members, putting away the flesh. Because when you keep reading down in Ephesians the 4th chapter, it tell you about how you put away the flesh, about like not lying, you know what I'm saying, speaking truth with your neighbor, not being angry so quick, not giving place unto the devil, you know, not letting the sun go down upon your wrath, not stealing anymore, not letting corrupt communication go out of your mouth, grieving not the Holy Spirit, letting all bitterness, wrath, evil, speaker, anger, clamor, malice be put away from you, being kind-hearted one to another, being tender-hearted, forgiving one another. This is how you become that new man. You know what I'm saying? But if you still have these involved in you as a new man, then you haven't really become a new man. You know, you can't say that, oh, this is how Yahweh Shem Shai made me to be. No, he has no need for a sinful man. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shem Shai don't want you to be acting like that. If you, you know, to be a part of his program, you got to be a new man. You know?
Right. Yeah, you just need to be destroyed. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what it boiled down to.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, like being renewed, that goes into, you know, reconstruction, you know? And the only way, a lot of times when it comes to construction, you got to tear down something in order to truly rebuild it. You know, like this place,
has
you know?
to be tore down. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's going to be a new heavens and a new earth. It's going to be renewed, you know? So just like that, we got to do that same thing, man. We got to be renewed in our spirits.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
God, can you read that verse 24, and then I want to jump to Romans 12. Or you had something else?
God, it says, verse 24, and they put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness.
So let's go to Romans 12 and 1 and 2. The point is in 2.
This is in the book of Romans 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, it says, by the mercies of Yahweh Shem Shai, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh Shem Shai, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah, like we read in Colossians, the 2nd chapter, it was speaking about not being subject to the ordinances of this world. You know what I'm saying? So not being conformed unto this world is how you transform, which transform means to change form. You know what I'm saying? Or reform. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much similar to renewing. You know what I'm saying? You have to change the form of your mind, rebuild it. You know.
That's it, man.
You read the last little part on that slide, or you can read it back from the top.
It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Bashim Hashai."
So that's what proves what is the perfect will of Yahweh Bashim Hashai, is by renewing your mind, man. Which that's how you become that new man. Which that new man is acceptable with Yahweh Bashim Hashai. That's the will of Yahweh Bashim Hashai. He wants us to be that new man. He don't want us to mix and mingle, you know.
God.
And Apostle Paul said he beseeches us, which means beseech means to beg. So he's
Right.
begging us to do this. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because if we continue with the deeds and the conversation of the old man, like you just said, you are going to be destroyed. We are going to be destroyed if we continue in that manner of life. You know.
Yep.
So we have to transform. You know, by the renewing of our minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just to add, because in verse 1 it says, present your bodies a living sacrifice. It says holy, acceptable to the Most High, you know? So, we got to really examine ourselves, Like, we could present our bodies a living sacrifice, but is it holy? Is it acceptable? Most High don't got to accept our sacrifice,
yeah, right.
man.
God.
So that's one thing we got to recognize too, man. We got to really make sure that it's like, it's something that Most High will be accept. Like he'll be pleased with our reasonable service.
Yeah, he want a Chaz version. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He want a Chaz, a pure version. I don't want no defiled freak. Somebody that ran through already. That's in the law. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got your tokens of virginity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Take that back.
That's right. Right. You can't be making one. Yahweh Shai, we did that. What's that? Corinthians talks about your flesh with Yahweh Shai with the harlot.
Oh yeah,
can be joined together. The harlot, you know what I'm saying? With the body of Mashiach, man. So
it's the spirit, because this lesson is kind of like a spin-off of what we just did. Like similarly, like somewhat, you know what I'm saying? It's like a spin-off to it.
Yeah.
So that's the spirit, because we ain't even like rehearse this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It really just boils down to repentance.
Yeah, which that's ultimately what the name of the game is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Brother.
Damn, I had a precept in my mind. It slipped me. Shalach, God.
We'll come back.
Yeah, Lord. Oh,
what you got?
Deuteronomy 17:1. Call out Bashim Hashai.
Because
this another law right here. You know what I'm saying? It really just echo what you just said.
Deuteronomy 17:1. It says, "Yep, thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh thy power any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord Yahweh thy power."
Okay, you got it, bro.
Not. So that's in the law, like brother said, man. Having a sacrifice that has any blemishes in it, man, that's an abomination, man. That's something that's hateful. We get that word in Hebrew, the waiba, a disgusting thing, abomination, abominable.
Damn.
So that's something that's disgusting to the Most High, man. So we want to make sure if we're offering our bodies living sacrifice, if we repented, if we stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, if we're doing videos throughout the week, if we're going to highways and byways, we want to truly be renewed in the spirit, man. We want to make sure that we're preaching Mashiach, not of contention, adding affliction to the bonds. We got to put to death those particular evil, unclean thoughts, man. Spiritual fornication and literal fornication, looking at, unclean things, man, desiring things that's forbidden, things of this world.
Nah. Yeah, that's literally what you got to do, because you could see a man with his woman, you know what I'm saying? She looking good, or she got on a certain type of body wear, you know what I'm saying? In your mind, you be like, man, fuck that, I'm finna keep looking. No, you got to put your mind in check, like, nah, man, Yahweh Shai won't want me looking at that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm finna turn my head. You know what I'm saying? I be doing that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just as a personal testimony. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. That's the way this place is set up, and that's not any excuse for us, man.
For you to, yep.
We need to, if we're offering our bodies living sacrifice, that we shouldn't have any blemishes.
We're supposed to be holy and separate. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the name of the game.
You're supposed to be living to the ordinances of this world. You know what I'm saying? If we truly love Yahweh Shai, and we're truly within Yahweh Shai,
Yep. Nah. Get that in 1 Peter.
Kind, brother.
I can read it for you.
Kind.
This is in the book of 1 Peter chapter 2. And we'll start at the top. 1 Peter 2:1, it says, Shalach, yeah, I'm at 2 Peter. 2 Peter 2 is fire. That's
Yeah.
not the topic, though.
Boy, Peter is banging. Like,
Yeah, man.
1 Peter and 2 Peter. Every chapter, every word.
Mhm.
I mean, every word of Yahweh Shem Yahshua is pure anyway.
Right. 1 Peter 2:1, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes, to desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
So this is how you are reborn of the seed of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? This is how you're reborn of the spirit of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, is by laying aside all malice, man. All right? There's no way in the hell you can say that you're serving Yahweh Shah with maliciousness. Well, first and foremost, wisdom of Solomon, which Solomon was Yahweh Shah in the reincarnation, he said that wisdom shall not dwell in a malicious soul. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that you have wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahweh Shai, he gives us richly wisdom, like it says in Colossians the 3rd chapter. If we would have kept reading down for the bond of perfectness, the wisdom of Yahweh Shai is supposed to richly dwell within us. So we can't say that we servants of Yahweh Bashem Shai if we have not laid aside all maliciousness, which maliciousness is evil. You know what I'm saying? Maliciousness is synonymous with being malignant, which malignant is the definition of evil. You know what I'm saying? And maliciousness actually goes into having ill intentions. You know what I'm saying? So that means you're like premeditating things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're desiring things that are forbidden, like you're going into.
Kind of not.
You know. And it says lay aside all guile. Why? Because the 144,000 men, those who are going to be redeemed from the earth, they're not going to have any guile found in their spirit. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to have any guile. Well, it tell you how Yahweh Shai, he was found with no guile. You know what I'm saying? Then it says in hypocrisies, saying that you are a new man, but you still conducting yourself as an old man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And envies. Let's see what that word envies mean.
I just see envy or jealousy. But like you said before, wisdom, you know, like the brother McQuarrie likes to bring out, wisdom is a loving spirit. You know, so true wisdom, you know, it's not going to have these things: malice, guile, hypocrisies, envies, evil speakings, you know, because true wisdom is a loving spirit. You was going to get that?
Yeah, I just want to see if there's a little bit more on Google for it. Envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. You know what I'm saying?
Being covetous.
Oh, fretting yourself with evildoers. You know what I'm saying? One of the words that's synonymous with it is bitterness, and we read in Ephesians the 4th chapter, you're supposed to lay aside all bitterness, which evil actually goes into bitter. You know what I'm saying? Kinda, yeah. So we're not supposed to be discontented, which being godliness with contentment is great game. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately we're supposed to be content with the spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. We weren't supposed to need more than that. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be content with humility, you know, love, mercy, you know, compassion, you know, faith, hope, like what, joy, peace. What, you got to add some more to that? You know what I'm saying? You should be content with that. You know what I'm saying? You got the tools for what it takes to get salvation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Not a more wicked thing than to cover this man.
Yep.
You know, you want something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're not happy with what you got, man.
Right.
You got Shalach Riyam that right there. So evils to that mind state, man.
Bro. And that's a heavy ass demon too. That non-contentious, not being content demon.
Yeah.
That's a heavy ass demon, Doc. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's a reason why Peter was saying things like this, man. You know, and Paul too. You know, because this is like the gospel after we receive, you know, the prophecies, and, you know, even though, you know, certain prophecies are in here as well, but this is something that's like really the main focus, like being in a particular spirit. You know, for the times that we're in right now, this is the reason why they was writing this, man.
That's beautiful, kind. Like I say in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, about to stir up your pure minds.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Your reformed mind, your reshaped minds, your reconstructed minds by way of remembrance. You know what I'm saying? Way of remembrance of those who was in the mind of Yahweh before us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then it said, at the end it said, in all evil speakings. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be like, oh, I'm a new man in Yahweh, but you still speaking evil though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not. No, you're not. You know, you got to put that to death, man. You got to put that to death, and that's another heavy ass demon too. Cause Jake got a problem with that. Jake don't know how to fucking control his mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? But it tell you that any man that don't know how to bridle his tongue, his religion is in vain. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of. Yep. I love bringing that part out. Matthew 5. That's one of my new favorites now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that proceeded out of the mouth, that's what defiled the man.
Yeah.
You know, and that comes from the heart. You know?
Matthew 15? Kind. Nah.
Yeah, man. So that's why it's really important. If Yahushua, all right, made that important. You know, we don't want to be defiled out here, man.
Yep.
I mean, the elect are not going to be defiled.
God,
And if that's the game, if you want to be delivered, if you want to be saved, you gotta put to death those things that's gonna hold you back, man.
Bro, beautiful. And then verse 2. So like, just finish that. It says, "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." The sincere milk of the word, like the simplicity of Yahweh Mashiach, man. Like not being a hypocrite, not evil, not speaking evilly, not wanting more than what you got, you know what I'm saying? Not being crafty, or, you know what I'm saying, not having bad intentions, man. This is the sincere milk of Yahweh Shah, which is going to help you grow into the perfect stature, you know what I'm saying, that Yahweh Shah is looking for. A man that's thoroughly furnished unto all good works, you know?
Con. Yep. Might as well get that in 2 Ezra 2, unless you have some.
Nah, you got it, my brother. So that proves that their milk is more than precepts, because their precepts ain't gonna basic precepts. Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. What the hell that got to do with you being a new man?
Right. Not got nothing to do with malice.
Yeah, that. You ain't want that 2 Corinthians, or you want to go back?
Go back.
Okay,
yeah.
so like you.
Just because you made that point. 2 Ezra 2, and I just put 45, but we could read the thing if you want.
Nah, my brother, go ahead, my brother.
2 Ezra 2, and the point is of verse 45. This is talking about really the elect. It says, he answered me, 2 Ezra 2 and 45, he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and have put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Bashim Haushai. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Ooh, God, that's fire, right? That in that immortal clothing is the spirit of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, man. That's that immortal clothing, man. Because it tell you, if you walk in the spirit, that they are in the spirit are not under the law. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about the punishments that comes from the law. You know what I'm saying? If you're walking in the spirit of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach,
Kinda.
Can you read 47 as well, Bible Kashan?
It says, verse 47, so he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
Yeah, they stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. They put in subjection their members. You know what I'm saying? They mortified their members upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? They were constrained in the love of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? They refused to turn away from that new creature and go back to that old creature. That's standing stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, not just proclaiming it. Not just saying, oh, I'm a servant of Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
right.
Like, no, Yahweh Shah, that's the name. You know what I'm saying? He's the Lord. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not just that. That's not standing stiffly for the name. You know what I'm saying?
Kinda. Yep. right there in 2 Corinthians 4.
Come on, brother. You want me to read it for you?
I mean, I can read it for you.
Come on.
This is 2 Corinthians 4 and 16. It says, "For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day."
Ooh, because that's immortal clothing. That's immortal clothing. You can't kill something that's immortal. You know what I'm saying? But you can kill something that is mortal. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that outward man is supposed to perish day by day. Why? Because that's mortal. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be mortified, man. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be more. You get a precept for me out, because the precept say it best. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can't even say it. You just gotta let the precept say it for you. Job 17:9, I believe it is. Job 17. Yep.
It says Job 17:9, "The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall he." Slakia. I'm gonna read it again. It says, "The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger."
Yeah, so he that have clean hands is gonna be stronger and stronger, and he that has clean hands is the one whose inward man is being renewed, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the righteous. You know what I'm saying? The righteous is gonna grow stronger and stronger. Okay, the wicked is gonna grow weaker and weaker. Tell you about that in the 2 Samuel the 3rd chapter. You know, the house of David, you know what I'm saying, waxed stronger and stronger. The house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker, which the house of Saul was wanted to hold on to that old man. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Saul didn't want to give up that grudge no matter what. He didn't want to give up that bitterness. He like, nah, fuck that. I ain't letting it go. You know what I'm saying? And that's what ultimately caused him to go weaker and weaker, ultimately into his death. You know what I'm saying? But King David, you know what I'm saying, putting away, that old way of doing things, like an eye for an eye. Like, no, I'm gonna show you mercy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna esteem you higher than myself. That's what caused him to grow stronger and stronger, and become a friend of Yahweh Shem Shah. You know. You know, but striving to be that new man, you know.
That's it.
Then that's pretty much. Can we get one more too before we get yours? I think it's what, 2nd Ezra is 14. Pretty sure you know what I want. I think it's like 13. No, it's 14.
2nd Ezra 14 and 14. It says, "Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature."
Yeah, put off now the weak nature. Gird up thy loins like a man. That's what that means, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't just mean like, oh, let your nuts hang and poke your chest out. You know what I'm saying? And scream at somebody. It's not what that means, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Gird up, like showing yourself a man, girding up your loins as a man means to put off that weak nature, which means that the burdens of man, which is that old man, you know, that mortality, which mortality waxes weaker and weaker. You know what I'm saying? It perishes day by day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So put that off and come into that and put on that immortal clothing. You know what I'm saying? Which can't be tainted, which is gonna continually be renewed and renewed. You know, what's that? Into the perfect day. Shalach, God. Into the perfect day. Proverbs 4 and 18. Proverbs 4 and 18. Let me make sure that's right. I believe that's right though. Yep. Yep. Call out your best shot.
Call it Bashar Mashai. Proverbs 4 and 18. It says, "But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more until the perfect day."
Yeah. So the path of the just is as a shining light, which is gonna shine more and more into that perfect day. You know what I'm saying? But the path of the wicked is gonna get more and more dark to the point where they don't even know where the hell they at, to the point they be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So that's ultimately why that immortal clothing, you know what I'm saying, that new man, you know, cannot be tarnished. Why? Because it's gonna do nothing but continue to be built up until the day that, you know, the day of redemption. You know what I'm saying? But that old man, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna pretty much just be set up for the day of destruction, which that link up with 2 Peter 2 when it says, "Yahbashim, I shall know if I deliver the godly out of temptation and reserve the wicked to be punished." You know what I'm saying? Just roughly paraphrasing. You know. Scriptures be, man,
God,
they be like
perfect
connecting.
puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep. That was on that.
Yeah, Con. Did you say 1 Corinthians 15?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot that I was thinking about getting.
Con, go ahead, man. You know I like it like that. That's how I like it. Where you want to start there, brother?
19.
Con. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 19. If in this life only we have hope in Hamashiach, we are of all men most miserable.
You got it.
God, yeah, this the spirit. The brother got this precept on here because we was kind of, texting a little bit this morning. You know what I'm saying? Just going back, shooting a little bit, a couple thoughts off each other. You know what I'm saying? Sharing a couple thoughts with the brother. You know what I'm saying? And I brought the scripture out for the brother. You know what I'm saying? How in this life, we only have hope in the Mashiach, man. That's our only hope. So within that, we're gonna be miserable, man, because we don't have nothing to be here for outside of Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we're just here. You know what I'm saying? We just like walking. Like what's a good word for like walking? Like extras or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like we just here, like, you know, it's just in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can read it for you.
Go on, brother.
It says, but now is Mashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept.
But now is a Mashiach risen from the dead, you know what I'm saying, and become the first fruits of them that slept. So it's a difference from when Yahweh Shai was on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai didn't die, didn't rise from the dead yet, you know what I'm saying, and become the first fruits of them that slept. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is now, you know what I'm saying, even though we're miserable, we still have Yahweh Shai has become risen from the dead to become the first fruits of them that slept. You know what I'm saying? So now Yahweh Shai, we have arose with Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? We have arose from we ain't just gotta fucking die in our misery no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just gotta fucking just be miserable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. For since by man came death, by man also, Slakia. It says 1 Corinthians 15:21, for since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. You know what I'm saying? So now we have a chance to be resurrected from that death. You know, which so ultimately that's why we aren't supposed to just that's why we aren't supposed to give over our hearts to heaviness. You know what I'm saying? Which heaviness is synonymous with misery. You know, but let me get this word resurrection. That's G386. Anastasis, which is a raising up, a rising from the dead. Which we supposed to be risen with Yahweh Shai Mashiach, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So now we have hope. We just ain't just gonna keep fucking dying and dying. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have life.
Right. That's right. That's
And
the cycle.
Y'all.
You got it.
And we supposed to hold on tight to that. You know what I'm saying? Like we supposed to be very thankful for that. Like, man, we ain't gotta keep dying. Oh, what we gotta do to not keep dying? Or be this new man, have this new life. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me make sure I'm operating like that. Let me go stronger within this new man. You know what I'm saying? Let me be reborn. You know?
Mm-hmm. That was it.
That was all you want on that?
Nah, I was gonna read down.
Oh, come on. Keep it.
It says, verse 22, for as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive.
Which shows the perfect, just a side note, shows the perfect balance of Yahweh Shem Shai. Shows the perfect synergy, if that's the right word, or the processing of Yahweh Shem Shai, the perfect processing of him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. That's what I was gonna say. So it's all a cycle, man. Just like we're bringing out. You know, it's all a cycle. You know, us being alive, and then us being dead, and then now us being alive.
That's cool.
You know,
us being in subjection to us ruling. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Kinda. It says, but every man in his own order, Mashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Mashiachs at his coming.
Ooh, God, yeah. But every man in his own order, Hamashiach, the first fruits, which we know that Yahweh Shai is the chief spirit, the top spirit. Then afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at his coming. You know what I'm saying? So everyone that's in the body of Yahushua Hamashiach, they're gonna be risen from death. They're gonna be given eternal life, ultimately. You know what I'm saying?
Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High.
Oh, delivered up the kingdom to the Most High. That's why only certain people can break down these scripts out. You know what I'm saying? It's like Jeremiah 3:15. Yahabashi Mashah is giving pastors according to his heart. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't break down these scripts, bro. You know what I'm saying? What does it mean to? And that's why it's a blessing. The water Yahabashi Mashah, Lord willing, He's giving us the proper, interpretation, understanding these scripts, because this is high level. You know, but Salakia, just the
Ready for you again?
Yeah, Khan.
It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High.
So how is he delivering up the kingdom to the Most High? We were just talking about people anyway. You know what I'm saying? So how did this go from a place? No, because the kingdom is within you. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom is within those men who are in Yahushua Mashiach. Why? Because that spirit is what the kingdom of heaven is going to be based upon. You know, righteousness. You know what I'm saying?
Even the Father, even when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
When he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Because we know Revelations 19, Daniel the 2nd chapter, Daniel the 7th chapter. So many scriptures prove that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even really got to touch on that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of him redeeming the first fruits from the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's because really, Lord willing, we those men, we're really supposed to be in the place that the first fruits in this current world is in. We're supposed to be in that place. You know what I'm saying? So Yahabashi Mashah is just gonna rearrange it. It's that go back to that cycling, like you were saying.
It says, for he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
Yeah, everybody. Enemies: Esau, Ishmael, you know what I'm saying? Ham, Moab, Ammon, you know what I'm saying?
Two turds.
2 turds. 2 turds, you know what I'm saying? No. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. You know what I'm saying? So really, you your biggest enemy, man. You know what I'm saying? That old man, you know what I'm saying? Them old deeds, you know what I'm saying? That's your enemy. You know what I'm saying? You better fucking destroy him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when Yahushua come, he's cutting off all those who offend, which everyone who's in the spirit of that old man, you're offensive and you're gonna die. You know, Lord willing, that's not us.
Con. This was the scripture I was thinking about. I forgot the point, but I was thinking like this was like a good point. You're just basically talking about putting to death our flesh.
Okay, Con, yeah, I'm glad you remembered that because I forgot about it. So,
Con. I want to end this right here.
Okay.
And I'll come right back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that point in 2 Corinthians 5 where it says, for the love of Mashiach constraineth us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead, you know? So that's Yahushua, who died for all. So we're all dead, but it says, in that he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. So Yahushua, man, he's putting his enemies under his feet, and it says here that the last enemy, is death. That's the enemy that he's putting under his feet. Sin entered into the world. I believe it might be this chapter that goes into it. Through one man, sin entered into the world. So that's the enemy. That has to be put under his feet, man. And like the brother brought out, us being that old man, I know that has to be put to death, man.
God, it's a spirit that we brought out, that 2 Corinthians 5, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to bring out. I was thinking about this, 1 Peter 4:2, because we brought out 4:1, just because we said it earlier, might as well just bring it out just real quick, that he should no longer live the rest of his life to the lust, in the flesh, to the lust of man, but to the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know what I'm saying? So we not supposed, and that go right after 1 Peter 4:1, when it said, for as much then as a Mashiach have suffered in the flesh, For us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind. For he that suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his life, rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of man, but to the will of Yahweh Shem Shah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're supposed to do as a new man. You're supposed to live out the rest of your sentence in these chains of darkness to Yahweh Shem Mashiach. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. What will Yahweh Shah do? You know? Like they say in the world, like, you know, this is basically, we have to do the same thing. If this is Yahweh Shah, he's putting death under his feet. You know, he's killing death. You know, we have to put to death. You know, the carnal mind is death. We got to put that to death, man.
That's why I say let go of the mortal thoughts. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Let go of death. Let this shit go. You want to die?
Right. Choose life, man. You know?
God, I life. I said life and death before thee. Yep.
God, not.
You said you got some more on this?
I was gonna read down to probably about maybe the end.
God, let's go. This is one of my favorite chapters too. Huh?
Yeah, this chapter, man. It says, verse 27, for he hath put all things under his feet, but when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is expected, which did put all things under him.
Yeah, it says, for he hath put all things under his feet, but when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. You know what I'm saying? So for us to be accepted, we got to put all things under us. You know what I'm saying? Including our flesh. You know what I'm saying? If we want to be accepted by Yahweh Shah Mashiach, whom has put all things under his feet, we have to put, you know, even our own selves under our feet. You know, unless we're gonna trot in the son of Yahweh Shah Shah under our feet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And when all things shall be subdued unto him.
When all things shall be subdued unto him, which subdue it was in the Strong's definitions for mortify. You know what I'm saying? So when everybody's flesh is subdued unto Yahweh Shai,
then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him.
woo!
That the Most High may be in all. It's like that Yahweh Shem Shai may be all in all.
So this is really a bigger picture. This is really bigger than any of us. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really bigger than all of us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so deep that Yahweh Shai, he can't even fully be glorified until we fully put off that old man. You know what I'm saying? Everything